Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Sean.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're the Natural Gamers, and today we're going to be talking about a game that came out, well, this past October. Kind of famous for its difficulty, I guess.
Yes. It's the...
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game. So,
yeah, sounds kind of like Demon Souls.
Well, it's the sequel. It's the spiritual successor, or the sequel to Demon Souls, for lack of a better way to put it. Everything that they did was an improvement, and just, I happen to really like it myself. I was really surprised that I would like it, because I'm not normally, like, into those kind of games that are just, like, challenging for the sake of being challenging. Like, I don't have any desire to, like, master those kind of things normally, you know?
Yeah. Well, I played a couple hours. I'm not, it's not that I didn't like it, I don't know, it's just, it's something that is definitely you need to, you know, be attentive to. It's not some game you just pick up and play. I think you actually have to be pretty, like, good and, like, get used to, like, the controls and how the game works, because it's kind of like, it's a free roam game, and it kind of, like, lets you take the reins for everything. You control.
It gives you no, like, kind of, like, no distinct path to take or anything. It's totally non-linear. Like, it's up to you, basically, to decide where you want to go in the game. The game doesn't hold your hand and, like, tell you, well, go down here because you're only at this level.
Yeah.
No, you end up finding that stuff out the hard way.
I'm sure, like, there are easier ways to get to places, but you wouldn't know that. Like, I'm sure there's different paths to take to get to this certain place.
I mean, it's not like a huge game or anything like that, but it is a game that it's all kind of interconnected by shortcuts, and you have to get to, like, a certain point in one area, then you can open up the shortcut back to, like, the kind of the main hub area. There's, like, a main, like, meeting area, and then there's, like, branching paths basically all over the place. So it's not entirely open world. It is still kind of, instead of having levels, they just have, like, areas. Rather than, like, the traditional, like, oh, you go to, like, a hub station and then you, like, teleport to a different place. That's how they did it in Demon Souls, and they got rid of that in this one.
Okay. Well, the only time you can save it is at campfires, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so that kind of increases the difficulty.
Well, yeah, it's a game that you're constantly, like, like, kind of dreading.
Yeah.
Like, dreading, like you really have to, like, master an area. And because you can only save and only kind of recoup yourself at these kind of scarce bonfires, each area only has maybe one or two.
I know, and that kind of sucks, because you can go so far and get killed, and then you have to go all the way back.
And when you get killed, you lose, like, all your souls.
And the enemies respawn.
And all the enemies respawn.
So.
Which you can do things like kind of mine for souls, basically. Like, you can, like, kind of level grind in that way. So, I mean, the game is kind of made for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But, like, when you have, like, 6,000 souls, and you're, like, kind of have to debate, like, well, do I want to backtrack and go cash these souls in so I can level up or get some new type of armor or anything like that, or do I kind of just continue on and hope that there's one that's coming up soon? It is kind of like
it's a gamble, kind of.
Yeah, you really have to actually think about, like, these decisions, and the game, like, design, like, that's kind of what the game design is. It's like you have to make, like, hard decisions like that, like, constantly throughout the game. You have to move slow, always have your shield up. Like, the camera system is in a way that if you're in a narrow hallway and you're coming out to an opening, you can't, like, check.
And you can't change the difficulty. It's like a one set difficulty.
I believe it's just a one set difficulty.
Okay.
Like, that's they intended the game to be that way, and they just stick it that way.
The enemies can do a good bit of damage. Even, like, the lower end enemies can do, like, a good bit of damage.
Oh yeah,
if they like hit you a couple times, you're like,
if you're not paying attention, like, or if or you get, like, overwhelmed because you decided to rush in and, like, try to fight three of them at the same time. One of them gets behind you, it starts hitting you. It only takes you a few hits to die.
And not only that, the other players, I guess it's like online. You play online, and
you're kind of always online
because you can see the ghosts of other players in your world. So I guess, and they can leave you, like, hints and notes on the ground and tell you what's up ahead, or they can try to screw you over.
Or try to screw you, yeah.
But I think this game, for what it is it's like, I think it's, like, kind of different from, like, a game.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah.
And I think they did it extremely well.
Yeah, well, that's the cool thing about the game. I think, like, the fighting physics, you know, like how you swing a sword, how you have, like, it feels very satisfying. Yeah. Like, it actually kind of is close to a video game. Like, I think that it made it realistic, because like something like for, say, like something Skyrim. While I enjoy the combat and stuff like that, it's not the same as, like, as Dragon, or what am I saying? Dark Souls.
And I feel like when you fight, I feel like it's a lot more, I don't know, what's the word here? It's just
defensive. You're always defensive.
It's more skill. You have
skill
to be
based. No, you have to
build.
It's based on your patience. Like you have to always constantly wait for those openings to attack. You can't just go in and be like, slash the hammer.
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of have to, play to what your hand that's dealt to you. If you got like 3 guys in front of you, you gotta, learn how to deal with it. And
and it's true, and and the thing is, because you end up going through the same areas like over and over again.
Yeah.
And there's always a certain point where you're just like, God, I'm just fucking frustrated, and I want to just
run,
haul ass to like get where I want to be. So you try to just like quickly kill everybody and everything, and it never works out. I always screw myself whenever I do that. As soon as I get impatient, it's like either that or the other multiplayer aspect of this game, which is people can invade your realm.
Sad story.
And kill you or fight you. I mean, you have a chance to kill them back. You can get their souls and everything like that, which is pretty cool. But I got the game really late.
Yeah, most of the time it's a higher level.
Yeah, people that I have no business
skill.
dangling with at all.
One hits you, you're dead.
I think it's a cool mechanic, and I would probably enjoy it more
once you get to more competitive.
Yeah, when I'm a higher level, and I'll enjoy that more, that aspect of the game. And if I had gotten it when it came out, because I was on the fence about this, because I didn't really think I was gonna like it. The only reason I ended up getting it because I was like, I want to give it a try, and I had buy 2 get 1 free, and I needed an extra game, and I was like, I'm gonna try out Dark Souls. That's why I ended up getting it myself. But I really like it. So, but you're just like
I think it's a great game. It's not, but I'd play it. I would play it.
Yeah. So it's like you kind of you understand why it's a good game, but it's not necessarily one you're gonna run to.
No. I'd rather play Red Dead Redemption right now. I'm kind of jumping back on Red Dead.
Back into that. Yeah. I'm going through a Final Fantasy stage, playing all the old games myself. So I've been kind of playing some older games too, and trying to squeeze newer games in. But I feel the same way because it's like a game that I feel the same way as Little Big Planet. Those games, I really don't like those games.
But I do.
But I understand why people like them and why they're so important and why they're as cool as they are. I get why.
Yeah.
It's just that's a personal preference.
I guess those games are kind of get annoying, but those games challenge you. But anyway, that's
challenge you in a different way.
Yeah.
But I'd recommend Demon's Souls only if you if you have a lot of patience and you like those kind of games where you need to master. You actually have to master this game to play it. To make any type of progress, it requires that you master the mechanics, which not a lot of games do. A lot of games you can just either knock back the difficulty or it's fucking enemy waves and with first-person shooters. You don't have to master a gun. You don't have to do that very often, and it's kind of a refreshing, cool thing to see.
And there's different classes too. There's different.
There's all different classes, and actually a little pro tip for you here: pick the Pyromancer if you've never played a game like this, because apparently that's the easiest class to be.
It's ranged, right? It's ranged magic.
You have magic and melee.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know that. I went in and I was warrior, because that's what I always pick. And warrior's usually the simplest class to be, but that's actually the exact opposite.
Yes.
Because you have to rely on
for skill?
Not magic. You have to rely on grenades and the fire pouch things that you pick up and stuff like that, which you don't come across very often. So it can be kind of a bummer. You have really no ranged attacks. Everything's going to be head to head.
But
you live and you learn.
Yeah, you get through it. Yeah.
But now that I've played it with the warrior so long, I don't want to go and play with the start of Pyromancer to make it easy. I'm getting used to it. So. Well, that's probably going to do it about
That will do it. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Sean.
We are the Natural Gamers.
And we will talk to you next time we have something to talk about.
Soon.
Major World!